Hello everyone, welcome and welcome back to my channel. This is Hazel Lucia Tarot. I am your tarot reader Stephanie, and today's reading is what surprises, what changes await for you towards the end of the year. This is meant to be timeless. You can watch it at any year, but the inspiration behind this reading is that they say within the last few months of the year is when people make the most progress. So you can watch this as early as, I don't know, I guess September, definitely October, November, and December. And we're going to see what advances, what unexpected and quick, surprising advances are going to be happening for you within the last months or weeks of the year. The 4 piles here for you today. Pile 1, we have the Prism Tarot. Pile 2, we have the Rider-Waite Tarot. Pile 3, we have the 8th House Tarot. And pile 4, we have the Weird Cat Tarot. So take a few deep breaths, open up your heart, open up that timeline of yours. Let's see what the new year has for you. Or the end of the year, I guess, has for you. And I'll be ready for your reading whenever you are. Hello, pile 1. If you chose the Prism Tarot, then we have your reading here for you about surprises for the end of the year. We're going to see what the end of the year has in store for you. I'm intending for this to be a timeless reading, so it could be any time towards the end of the year, any year that it's going to end, because I want to see what surprises are in store. Because I remember reading somewhere, or hearing about it, watching, I don't know, that the last few months, I think the last 3 months of the year tend to be filled with the most change. So with that attitude in mind, I'm going to see what the end of the year has in store for you, regardless of whether you celebrate holidays or not. Because I know not everybody celebrates I guess the Western Christian holidays, like Christmas, and I guess Thanksgiving isn't really Christian, but regardless, we're going to see what the end of the year has in store for you. What is happening for you? What surprises are coming up for my pile 1? We have the 8 of Wands. Things happening fast. So like I said, this tends to be the time of year when people progress the most. Like if you have a goal, you're more likely to meet it because there's a sense of wanting to push forward. Specifically, Scorpio season is coming in for this pile, but also Capricorn, maybe a combination of both. One of my favorite combinations, actually. We have the 7 of Swords. Ooh, we have scarcity mentality, but what's coming through is, when I read this, I saw mental clarity. So upright, it can be a deception, but with the 8 of Wands, it's like when you're doing something so quickly that something finally clicks and you put together the puzzle of something that maybe was confusing you or that had you stumped. It's like something is finally clicking, something that had you mentally compromised, or like you couldn't really understand why it was happening until you wake up one day and you're like, oh, that's why that's happening. So I love this mental clarity. Oh, my card's getting stuck. Okay, we have the Queen of Wands. Ooh, love it. This is you stepping into your power, and not the kind of power that you exert over people, but more the kind of power that brings people in. This is your magneticism, your ability to draw in your results. This is you literally willing, wishing, or manifesting things into being. You're going to do this. Something that you didn't expect to happen is going to happen. Maybe some of you are getting really good at manifesting as well. Like, you don't even think you're manifesting something, but you just put a thought out there like, oh, it'd be nice if it was extra sunny today. And then it is like one of the warmest days ever, you know, for your benefit because you needed to do something that required, you know, a really good sunny day. Something like that. Or what happened to, I was doing something and I didn't expect the store to have it, because it was just so out of nowhere. And then I went in and it literally had the very thing that I wanted. And I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting this place to carry this. Okay. That was me manifesting without intending it, because I wanted it, but I didn't expect it to come from where it came from. So definitely getting unexpected things in unexpected ways for you, pile 1. We have the Ace of Cups, rebirth. Definitely making new connections, new friends, or deepening the ones that are already there. Or even just a sense of like emotional renewal. If you felt that you would never be able to feel a certain way again, I feel like you're going to be able to feel that. Whether it's joy, accomplishment, passion for something that you had lost interest in. I feel like you're going to get a renewed sense of interest. And the Moon reverse, lots of clarity, really. For a lot of you, I feel like you're manifesting the truth, and because you're doing that, it's coming through. You're manifesting truth without you intending to. I feel like maybe for some of you, you've kind of it's almost law of attraction. Like if you stop being fake or dishonest with yourself, the world falls in line with that and will also be honest with you. So people may start being more honest or more direct and blunt with you in a way that you appreciate, or you may start seeing things just happen for your benefit without you trying, without you expecting it to. And I feel like what this is allowing you to do is accept a part of yourself that you thought had been denied so much before. So for example, let's say you're not used to getting adoration from people, or you're not comfortable getting compliments. Let's put it that way. Because deep down within you, there's a part of you that didn't feel that you deserved those compliments or that didn't deserve adoration. And suddenly the world is showing up for you. And not only are you surprised by this, but you're also accepting it in a way that you wouldn't have in the past. So again, sticking with the example of the compliment, let's say someone gives you a compliment and they're like, oh, you have such beautiful hair. And in the past, you would have been like, oh, no, it's nothing. It's just, I don't do anything with it. It's just plain hair or whatever, Now you would have been like, oh, thank you so much, And it's like you appreciating that people appreciate you. You mirror back things. Things are being mirrored here. I keep getting that. Let's get more cards. But for a lot of you, I want to know more about this mental clarity. What about that source? What's going on here with this? It's almost like truths are unveiling themselves before your eyes, or you can't really escape them anymore. We have the Tower. Yeah, this is finding out about something, and it's hard to escape it. It's almost, maybe for some of you, it will go public, only if that is appropriate, of course. But for a lot of you, it's going to be something that can no longer be denied, or something that's just going to be so obvious that you're kind of flabbergasted by yourself, by how obvious it is. It's like, for example, again, finding out your crush really, really likes you, and you thought you were just imagining it because, oh, well, I like them. Of course I think they like me, but they probably don't. And then they just come forward and they're like, I really like you. Let's go out and hang out. It's like that. I'm getting that for you, pile. That's an example, of course, pile 1, but maybe that will happen for some of you. We have, your intuition itself was kind of not picking up on that because you were denying a part of yourself that is very intuitive. Like you were just trying to cast it off as like, oh no, I'm just being silly and delusional. I'm not that intuitive. But yes, you are. Like pile 1, I'm saying this with a lot of love. Stop denying your own intuition. Stop downplaying how intuitive and how connected you are to the world and source. I feel like you're a very magical being. You're very spiritually, emotionally, mentally in tune with the world. And I feel like because the world is so not in tune with itself, you feel like you have to play along with that same story. But the truth is, you're not like them. You're special. You've broken out of this monotonous hamster wheel and you do your own thing. And because of that, I feel like life is a little bit more sweeter for you. It's a little bit more magical. It opens up for you. Let's get a few more cards. We have the 2 of Pentacles. Things have been imbalanced far enough. I feel like for some of you, I'm kind of getting a sense that some of you, I'm hearing the dry spell is over, or it's been long enough that you haven't done something, or long enough that you have gone without something. So this is kind of like the universe setting things either in motion or in balance for you. So again, with this reawakened passion, maybe you used to do a lot of, some particular hobby, and it was actually life calling, but you left it behind because you just had either other things to do, or you just lost the passion, lost the inspiration, whatever the case is. You no longer wanted to do it. But here the universe is saying, well, here it is, and it's waiting for you, and it's happy for you, and people are telling you that you're great at this. I'm getting that. You're getting so much comfort. You're getting a lot of external validation. And even though we don't really need it and shouldn't, completely rely on it, I feel like in this case, pile 1, it's the universe coming through, kind of giving you the sign that, yes, this external validation is a sign that you are in the right space, in the right time, that a lot of what you believe to be true is true. But for a lot of you, this is positive things. And for some of you, this could be, again, waking up from something that you thought you could never get out of. It's like when you have that nightmare and you keep getting like somehow stuck in that nightmare, like you wake up and, oh, you're still in the nightmare. But then you finally wake up and it's like, no, this beautiful feeling you have of being awake and alive, this is the true dream. It's not the nightmare. So some of you could be waking up from a nightmare, quite literally. We also have this the Seven of Wands reversed, and I'm hearing, I don't want to fight anymore. You don't want to fight anymore. You don't want to struggle anymore. You don't want to... It's like you don't want life to be hard anymore. And it doesn't have to be. There's something here that either... I want to say that you let go of it, but honestly, I keep hearing that you wake up to something. And what you wake up to will determine the decision you make. And sometimes it's to let go, sometimes it's to hold on to something. I think it all depends. But the biggest surprise at the end of the year for you, Pile 1, is that, well, one, you're waking up to something. Things are clarifying themselves. You were right about something. You're very magnetic. This will happen rather out of nowhere as well. But also stop denying your intuition. The biggest surprise is that you were right all along. And you were just denying yourself, or maybe people were kind of... It feels a little gaslighty, but I feel like you were gaslighting yourself more than anything because you chose to believe what they were telling you when you knew all along that they were wrong. Or right, or I guess depending on, you knew that you were right all along is what I'm trying to say. Pile 1. But I love this energy. Really love it. There are 2 7s and 2 2s. So 2 and 7 could be of importance. Those numbers. So February and July, which is actually, what is that, 5 months? So 5 months could be of importance here. But let's move on to your oracles to close this off. I'm keeping these short and sweet because I got a lot going on in my life right now. I feel like I've been saying that for like a year. And I'm feeling called to share this part of my life because I feel like maybe some of you are kind of resonating with it. I was supposed to do something at the beginning of this year. I am now in November. I was supposed to do something beginning of the year. It never happened because within like the first few weeks of the year, something tower moment happened and I couldn't do it. And then I had to wait like months for something else to happen. And after that, I kind of got tired and kind of comfortable in my space. So I didn't want to do anything. I was like, let me just live. And it's been a whole year and I'm like, I should have already been somewhere by now. But the reason why, at least part of what Spirit is telling me why that had to happen is because there were certain things that were unfinished and that I still had to heal from, things that I had to pick up, things that I had to put down before I could move on. Just lots of things. And I feel like for some of you, it could also feel that way, that maybe you were supposed to do something a year ago, maybe more than that. And now it's like, now you're ready. Now there's something. Now you finally have the fire within you to do it. So let's get your cards. Pile 1. Also, I'm having one of my bouts of insomnia. I think it's 2 a.m. right now. And I'm exhausted, but I can't sleep. We have fortune. Yes, you have good luck on your way. And again, what was I saying about magneticism? Look at all these cats like being drawn to this lady, this girl. Also, it makes me think of that, again, the Queen of Wands card. In the Rider-Waite card, it's got a black cat, like she's on her throne, and there's like a little black cat. That's kind of like her symbol. Well, is it black or is it like any other color? I don't know, there's a cat. And here she's got 4. So there's something multiplying for you here. So something here is meant for your benefit. And you're going to come into a lot of luck within these last 3 months. Maybe more so than you're used to. Especially because you're not really focused on whatever this luck is, you're just allowing it to happen. Pile 1. We have feed your artist. Again, maybe some of you are being drawn to do something creative and artistic, or you're being drawn to do something... Again, this is your passion. When you feed your artist, you really are feeding that within yourself that wants to create something for yourself, for others, for the world, or to just... use your abilities and your skills to good use. So even if it's not artistic, let's say, for example, you're a great, like healing. Healing, I guess, can be seen as an art, but you love to heal and you go out of your way to help and heal people. That's feeding your artist because your artistry is a form of healing, which I think is beautiful. Let's get more cards for you from this deck. We have fierce serenity. Oh, I love this. Again, the number 8 is coming out. So the number 8 could be of importance. That could be August, or maybe some of you could be Leos. But fierce serenity is like taking back control of your life, taking back control And understanding what control really means. Even when you feel like you don't have any control, you do. And I feel like you're going to learn that these last few months of the year. Pile 1. And that's a big surprise. Also, I think the amount of control that you have over people can be very serene. Does that make sense? It's like, so you know, like when you're little and you have your mom and she's got like such a presence over you that you just feel calm and nurtured in her energy. That's what I'm feeling. Or even like pets, you know how like they gravitate towards the most nurturing person in the house. They always know who it is. Sometimes it doesn't always have to be the mom, but usually it is, but it can be any other person. Like they'll gravitate towards the nurturing that they need. I'm kind of getting that. That's what you're becoming. That's what you are to people. You have such a fierce, serene presence that people just can't help but like bow before you or fall in your wake, whatever that means. Maybe some of you read a lot of fantasy. I used to, I really don't anymore. All right, and the last cards for my beautiful pile. 1, what's their biggest surprise at the end of the year? You have freedom. Finding freedom when you thought you didn't have any. Or gaining freedom. Or gaining control. I don't know. Whichever makes more sense to you. Control or freedom. The sense that you have the ability to create the life the way you want it to be. That your life can be however you want it to be. That's coming through. And I feel like a lot of you, you're finding more freedom in these last few months, ironically. Because I feel like people tend to be the opposite. Like if they got a lot of family gatherings or parties and holidays going on, they feel like they have less control over it. But you, ironically, are finding more freedom at the end of these few months. Yeah, body. Ooh, you're in alignment with your body. Maybe that's one of the passions that you have to get back into is like, for example, working out or doing more yoga or doing something good for the body. Because when you nourish the body, you nourish the soul and vice versa. We have simplify. Yeah, simplifying everything. Things become more simple. Things get less complicated. In fact, if it's complicated, you might be a little allergic or averse to it. It's like, if it has to be complicated, I don't want it, you know? Or not needing to complicate things. Keeping things simple. Keeping things simple. Especially for my overthinkers out there. We have observed. You're also becoming more observant. But in a good way. Back of the deck, we have rage. Ooh, for those of you who are like prone to being more angry or frustrated really easily, don't be surprised if you suddenly find like a lot of peacefulness within these last few months, or from here to the end of the year. You're gonna feel a lot more peaceful. And I kind of get this because I was like, look, how do I say this without giving too much of my private life away? I'm in a position right now where I'm doing like a certain job, certain things that are really frustrating. They require a lot of patience, and I'm not a patient person. I'm not. I might be a Taurus, but I'm not that patient. And I'm just surprised with how much peacefulness I'm getting out of having to sit with that kind of work that I don't like. But it's kind of like, I guess this is like a sense of maturation, but I don't want to call it that. It's maturation for me because I need to find patience, but it's kind of like I find my peace and I spread that peace around me. I find my peace and I spread it around me. And if people or energy or things don't want to be peaceful around me, they go away, you know? That's what I'm getting. It's like if you can't get on my level of calm, simple, and peace, then you can't be near me. I'm getting that kind of energy from you as well. It's like either things will be peaceful or they can go away. Things will be drama-free or they can go away. And I'm getting a lot of that from you, pile 1. But this is very beautiful energy. But this is all I have. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe. I'm sending you so much love. Take care. Hello there, pile 2. If you chose the Rider-Waite Tarot, then we have a reading here for you about the last few months of the year. What surprises are in store for you during the remainder of the year? This came about because I read somewhere that the last 3 months of the year are when people make the most progress. So I wanted to see what was in store for you this particular year. It is meant to be timeless so that every year you can come back around to see what's going to happen. But we're going to start with the tarot, then we're going to get into the oracles. So let's see what what the last few months of the year entail for you, what surprises are happening, or any other changes. And when I say like the last few months, I'm thinking about like the last 3 to 4 months, the 4 to 3 months towards the end of the year. Sorry, I'm stuttering today. Pile 2. So we have the Ace of Wands and the Nine of Swords. Interesting. So something gets canceled, and I feel like you're upset about it for some time. You have the Ace of Swords because it's not the right time, or you're not in the right mentality. If it's not you, then it could be the people or situation around you not being in the right mentality. So something might get canceled. Two of Wands. It's for your benefit though. I keep getting that you weren't really ready for something, so you might even be happy that it's canceled. I mean, like, yes, you're freaking out, but on the other hand, I feel like the relief of not having to go through with this might feel better. Like, it might feel better. But there will be some disappointment that actually ends up working in your favor. Yeah, because things are not balanced. With the Two of Pentacles, things are ending, or things are not like begun in your favor. This could also be you deciding not to take something on, even though like everything, like everyone around you was pointing you in that direction. I feel like this is divine intervention. Like, this could be something that you end up going towards in the future, but not at the moment. So let's say a work opportunity pops up and you really wanted that. You've been wanting it for a long time. You've even been telling people that you want it. But then something happens in your personal life that prevents you from taking that job opportunity. That's kind of what I'm getting. But that's for you, again, for your benefit, because your personal life demands your attention more than your career at the moment. So that's an example that's coming through. Let's get the rest of your cards. Also, sorry that my voice sounds a little weird. I've been having like congestion and throat issues for like the past, few weeks. I don't know if it's seasonal. But if you're wondering why I sound a little different, it's because I'm congested and my throat hurts. But I'm not really sick. You have the Wheel of Fortune. Like I said, it's working out in your favor. So something gets canceled last minute, something ends up not going through. And this is something that's going to reevaluate your life path, because both the Two of Wands and the Two of Pentacles make me think of things that deal with choices. So something is being realigned, because if you were to go through with it right now, you would make a choice that doesn't really make sense, or that would end up burdening you in the long run. Yeah, there's that burden. I'm hearing your guides, I'm hearing the universe say, we want to make life easier for you. So we're not giving you this right now. Again, I'm getting more like job opportunity, or maybe even like some sort of opportunity that will pop up back again, especially with the Wheel of Fortune. Because the Wheel of Fortune, you think of seasons, think of like the seasons, the year. This will come back up. So I think like a lot of you know that this will come back up. Again, I'm thinking of job opportunity. So this could be an opening that could come back around within a few months or weeks, or maybe same time next year, depending on your timeline here. You have the Hermit. You're meant to do things alone right now. You're meant to focus on yourself, and you're meant to turn inward. The Hermit isn't always being alone, by the way. It can also mean just focusing on your personal life, focusing on the internal things going on. So let's say you've got health issues. This is focusing on your health issues. Let's say you've got, I don't know, anything else, your personal life, your home life, the people closest to you. And the Ten of Swords. And I feel like the only thing that Spirit is really wanting you to understand, Pile 2, is to not worry about this. Like, yeah, it sucks that you don't get to do this thing, but you have other things that need your attention. You don't get to go on this particular journey, but it will come back around, for one. And two, that you need to focus on other things. And I feel like you know that, because it's coming through as a disappointment, but a disappointment you already kind of understood that had to be done. Back of the deck is Death. Something is ending. But, ooh, look at that, Ten of Pentacles. But Ten of Pentacles, and Eight of Pentacles. It's like once this particular chapter is over, or once you're done with this situation that is taking your attention, your time away from the choice you wanted to make, you're going to find yourself a lot more stable, whether it's financially, mentally, physically. You're going to find a lot more stability, and you're going to have the energy to put in the effort for things. So yeah, sticking with the example of a workplace, I don't know, like a promotion or a position. If you were to take this on right now, you would take it on and you would not be in the right mindset. It would kind of blow up in your face and you would kind of become really apathetic, and it would change your mind about what you want to do. So you're not meant to do this at this time. So that's the biggest surprise, is that, and I think it's going to surprise people too, that they knew this was something you've wanted forever. And you had to tell them, well, I had to focus on things outside of this. I had to focus on myself. I had to focus on my family. Maybe quite literally, there could be a death in the family. And I see this a lot. Sometimes it can be a lot more work and baggage than you expect it to, especially if it's an unexpected death. Of course, I'm not wishing that on anybody, and I really do hope everybody is safe and sound. But for those of you who know, you know. I'm thinking more of like aging parents who you already know are headed in that direction. It's that kind of situation. Or again, an ending. Maybe you're going through a separation in a relationship, or you're moving residences. You're leaving behind an old life and you're entering a new one. And if you were to take this on right now, it wouldn't be the best idea. So, but it will come back around. I keep getting that. I just see you really disappointed because you really wanted this at this time. And yeah, what else is coming through? Not only that, but you need a lot of rest. You need a lot of rest. You will not have the energy for whatever this is. So you'll come back around when it's time. And I feel like when it's finally time, you won't be so worried about it. I've always noticed that when things are really meant for you, you tend to not naturally worry about them. When things are really meant for you, you don't worry about, oh, will I have it? Will I get it? Will it happen? You don't worry about that. You just already know in your heart that it's going to happen. So you take your time, or you don't even worry about divine timing. You kind of just, I want to say let it happen, or it just kind of happens, which is really interesting. But I feel like a lot of you have already kind of understood this. So let's get some oracles for you, pile 2. So the next unexpected turn of events during the last 3 months is not getting something, or not going for something that you've wanted for a long time, but it's for your benefit. Now, I want to focus more on the positive aspects of this and what it could result in. Because for some of you, you might feel like you're going backwards, but you're not. It's just focusing on what needs to be focused on. It's kind of like, for example, again, these are just examples. Let's say you're having a baby, and that's going to take time away from, you know, your career or any other activities that you typically do. Does that take away from your life? Of course not, because you're creating a new one. And I know you can make the argument that, well, women do tend to face backlash and tend to not progress further in their careers. Yes, this is true, and I'm not discounting that. But I feel like if you were to ask a majority of mothers whether they would take that, whether they would choose career over their kids, I don't know. I feel like from what I get, a lot of women do value their kids more. But that's just an example, and maybe it wasn't the best one. I didn't explain it that well, so don't come at me in the comments. But it's kind of that situation. It's like, does that really take away from your life in the long run? I don't think so, because you were creating a new one. Financially, yeah, probably. And I wish there were more, I wish there was more equality in that regard around the world. But yeah, it's kind of the situation that's going on here, pile 2. We have Traveler. Maybe some of you are being called to travel. Maybe you can't take something on right now because you have to go somewhere. Maybe you can't take on something right now because you won't physically be there to be able to do the things here. But I don't see you freaking out. And for example, I don't feel like this is romantic, but just in case it is, this would be like having to not be able to see your partner physically. But that's okay, because you know you'll see them again. I think especially if it's like a new connection, like maybe you can't make it official or you can't do anything about it now. But it's like you call each other every day, you really strengthen that friendship, and maybe even go on, you know, I don't know, casual dates while you're away, but you always end up coming back to each other. or something like that. Or maybe you surprise yourself or they surprise themselves. You both do, by being loyal and not really feeling like seeing anybody else. And you just kind of, you know, you wait for each other. I'm getting a little bit of that, just in case it was romantic. All right, let's get the rest of your cards. But yeah, I feel like some of you will be, if not literally traveling, going from one place to another, it could be like an emotional, spiritual journey. Expanding your horizons, if you will. We have Creator Fire. It's interesting that this card is meant to resonate with the Ace of Wands. And in the tarot, it was reversed. And here, it's upright, because I don't really take reversals for this deck. You're meant to find the passion elsewhere. You're meant to find the... I just heard ignition. You're meant to find the inspiration for this next... Because whatever you declined, it's coming back around. So you will get another opportunity. And I feel like a lot of you are going to take that next opportunity. But you're meant to get a different sense of inspiration and a different reason to do it. Again, sticking with the example of a job opportunity, it's going to come back around. But let's say you couldn't take it because, again, maybe you had health issues. Maybe some of you were pregnant. Maybe that's why the child thing is coming up. Or you had other things going on. The next time around, you have a reason to really go for it and put your all into it and succeed in a much better way. I'm also thinking of like Olympics, how maybe you have to sit out this Olympics, but you can go the next. Because the Olympics only comes around like every 4 years. And I think I've seen that with some athletes, because I watch the Winter Olympics. Okay, we have Stop, Drop, and Ground. You are in need of a lot of grounding right now. And by grounding, I really more mean tending to your needs, specifically your bodily needs, your human needs, taking care of your health, both mental and physical, taking care of your body, taking care of your space, taking care of the people around you for sure. And back of the deck, shift the way to new potential. Not only that, but I feel like you're going to find way more opportunities as well. Maybe even creating opportunities or finding new ones. And they may be very similar to the one you had to reject and you end up taking those instead. And then the last cards for my pile 2. I do apologize for my nail polish. I know it looks like garbage. I have been so busy and I don't like nail polish remover. I have to buy a specific kind and I haven't been able to buy it. And I wish I could use press-ons, but I don't know. My life's been crazy, pile 2. All right, pile 2, we have Explore. Yeah, you're meant to find new things. You're meant to go out and explore. You're meant to see what else is out there for you. Maybe some of you are literally traveling. So another example I'm getting is like finding a home or buying a house or an apartment or something. Maybe you pass a particular apartment or place of living up because you can't move just yet, but you know that there will be openings. Maybe you can speak to a landlord within the next few months or year or so. So in the meantime, you kind of do your own thing. You find yourself, you find other things. Maybe you even find better places to live. We have Root, again with the grounding. You are in need of grounding, pile 2. And I think that's going to be the biggest thing. You're going to learn how to not be in your head so much and more in the body, more in the... does that make sense? Like being in the body, being in the present moment, being in the now, and not worrying so much about the past or future, being in the present. That's what grounding means. To me, at least. That's how it's coming through. Also, it's interesting. We have the numbers 29 and 31. So something here could take 2 years, if that applies, or 2 months, or, I feel like it's a longer span of time, like not just 2 days. Maybe 2 days, but it could take a little bit longer. I guess it depends on what it is. We have Recharge. Yeah, like I said, this is for your benefit. You need to rest. You need to rest and focus on you right now. Let's get one last one. Journey. Journey again. Okay, pile 2. If you are having to pass up something in order to travel, this is just triple confirmation here, I guess. Back of the deck, balance. And to balance things out, Maybe you need to travel in order to balance things out, or balance comes through traveling, and it definitely grounds you. It definitely makes you understand your worth as a person, your worth as an individual, that you're not just a machine that's meant to clock in, clock out, make money, pay bills. You're also meant to see the world, explore the world, experience life, and experience everything around you. You're meant to see the options around you. And I feel like a lot of you were kind of on a one-track mind and you weren't really seeing everything around you. Hence why you had to pass that step. Or hence why there had to be a situation or a reason why you had to pass something up before you... It's like before you get on this train, let's look around this little town. There's kind of some amazing things here in store for you. That's the energy I'm getting here. But like I said, it's all for your benefit pile too. But this is where I leave it. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 3. If you chose the 8th house tarot, then we have your reading here for you about what big surprises are coming up for you in the last few months of the year. What is awaiting you this year? This was based off the... I forget where I read that within the last 3 to 4 months of the year, it's when people do the most change, when they tend to do the most progress in their life. So with that inspiration in mind, I was kind of seeing what surprises you, what surprises await you towards the end of the year. This could also be like, I don't know, things you weren't expecting that are going to happen between now and then. And this is meant to be timeless, so you can come back year-round to get this reading. But let's go ahead and start off with the tarot, then we're going to get into the oracles. So pile 3. We have the Fool reversed. We have, okay, the Knight of Pentacles reversed. Somebody was really taking their time with something here. Time could drag on, like maybe like time will feel longer than usual, which does happen. Like I know people say, oh, time flies by, blah, blah, blah. Like honestly, pile 3. In my life, I've noticed there are times in my life where time goes by really slow and time goes by really fast because time is an illusion. So for a lot of you, you may understand that time is really an illusion, and that may help with, for those of you who struggle with patience like I do, that could help with patience. That could help with understanding not just divine timing, but that time really is a construct. And if you want to create time, you can. And if you want to shorten time, you can do that as well. I've seen it because I've lived it. And I feel like not enough people talk about it. So I don't believe in the nonsense that time flies by. It doesn't. Time goes at the speed that you want it to, or the speed that you need it to be. And a lot of you, you're kind of tapping into that. It's kind of giving quantum leap energy, but as opposed to leaping, it's like quantum manipulation, I guess, which is really interesting. And I wasn't expecting that from the Knight of Pentacles out of all of them. But the Knight of Pentacles is known as the slowest knight. And when I see the Fool reversed, then the slowest knight reversed, it's kind of like, I'm done with people saying that I need to take my time, or I'm done with people saying I'm too slow. Like depending on which side you're on, either you're too fast, too slow. There's something here about time really being an illusion for this particular pile. Because I believe that too. Like I do not let it resonate with me when people say time is short or time flies by. Because what they're really trying to say when they say that is that you need to make use of your time wisely, or that you need to cherish and savor the moments that you are in. Because I agree with that, but I don't agree that time flies by. Because for me, time goes by incredibly slow. I think that's why I talk so fast sometimes. So, pile 3. Maybe you agree with that mentality. So let's go ahead and get the rest of your cards. Also, I apologize for my voice. My throat's been hurting. We have the Magician reversed. What did I say? Magician is the manifestor, the manipulator. And here reversed, it's like finding out that you can do something, but not really being completely confident with it. So maybe you find out that you are really great at manifesting and you kind of don't know what to do with that ability. It's like, oh my gosh, what do I do? And maybe you play around with it. Like maybe you manifest certain things, but other things you don't really manifest just as quickly. So let's say you can manifest, for example, a sale at your favorite store. It's like, oh, who knew that things would be on clearance when you walked in there today? That is easy to manifest. What's not so easy to manifest, however, can be something like a life. Like maybe you want, I don't know, to find your partner, settle down, have a house, have kids. That could take more time. That could take a few more years, but you're still in the process of manifesting. And maybe some of you are even learning that when you manifest things, you might have to even put like a time scale on it, or even ask the universe to give you things in a proper way so that you don't get it all at once and then don't know what to do with yourself. Ooh, this energy is interesting, pile 3. And if you want to share what you're doing, let me know, because a lot of you, I keep getting quantum leap or quantum, what's it called? It's manifestation, but specifically working with how you get things, when you get things. But things are happening in the time frame that you want it to. It's not just things happening quickly. It's more like things happening in the right amount of time. So let's say, again, for example, because I hear this a lot in certain readings. Let's say you manifest a spouse, a partner. Well, you don't want to get married and have kids right away. Maybe you want to spend some time being, you know, cute boyfriend, girlfriend, boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever, you know, for a period of time. Maybe you just want to be in the dating phase and have that cute honeymoon phase for a longer time and then move on to whatever else it is that you want. You know, I feel like some of you don't want to find your partner and get married the next day, because even though, yes, you do adore them and you do feel like you may be with them forever, you want to savor certain times, like certain time frames that you need to go through. You know, I'm getting a little bit of that. It's like, what are you in a rush for? So yeah, we're dealing with divine timing and even the concept of time in this one. Maybe that's why you chose the number 8. We have the Hermit, Virgo. We have the 10 of Swords. Interesting. Maybe some of you in the past have manifested things that didn't come in the right order or the right time, or like something was off with how you manifested it. And that's why you're looking into this. Yeah, 6 of Cups, because the past is coming up here. Almost like I'm hearing the sins of my past. No, that's dramatic. It's almost like you don't want to repeat the timeline that you were in before. And that's why things are moving at a different pace now. So regardless of what pace you're taking, slower, faster, or something balanced, things are working out for you and you're learning to be okay with accepting how things pan out for you. Or you're learning to work with it, like maybe manifesting things quicker. Yeah, 2 of Cups. For a lot of you, I feel like this could have something to do with a relationship. Or even if not a relationship, this could have something to do with like having kids. Because I feel like timing is a big thing when it comes to, for those of you who want children and who want to get pregnant, timing is a big thing. Like it's not always like you want to have them in your 20s. Some people want to savor their 20s. I know I did. But also like getting them in your 30s. Maybe some of you are there and maybe some of you aren't there yet. And maybe some of you find out that you don't really want them. But I'm also getting, and I say this because I'm feeling the energy of like women having kids in their 40s. That's coming through. Maybe it's something like that. Like that's literally divine timing. It's like you never had a child and you've always wanted one. Here's one in your 40s. That's kind of what I'm getting. And that's an example, of course. I'm not saying some of you are going to get pregnant at 40. Don't take that if it doesn't resonate. But it's things happening in the time that they have to happen and being okay with that. It's like, why are we... You know how society tends to push a particular time frame on us? It's like, oh, you have to be married by this age. You have to have a job by this age. You have to own a house by this age. Like all that nonsense, it's kind of just like you're obliterating it within your mind. You're not paying attention to that. It's like, who cares when I do all these things? As long as I get them done when I want them, if I want them. Because some of you are finding out what you want and what you don't want here with the Hermit. And even the 10 of Swords. And in some cases, some of you could even be mourning the loss of wanting something. Does that make sense? Like maybe in the past you did want something, but now when you look at yourself, you're like, I don't want that. And that's kind of sad, but I don't really want that anymore. Whatever that is, whether it's a career, house, relationship, partner, children, like I said, I feel like you make life what you want it to be. And this idea that people are putting a timeline on you or that they're pressuring you to do something because, oh, it's how it's meant to be. Yeah, we're not dealing with that anymore. We are not dealing with that anymore. And I love this energy because I love breaking the norms because who put them there anyway? All right, let's get one more card for this pile because I really love this energy. But for a lot of you, it does concern other people. This could even be the acceptance of having to disappoint like a parent in deciding that you never want to have children. That's an example, of course. Or even Like maybe some of you want to disappoint your boss, not want to, but may have to disappoint your boss by saying, actually, I'm switching careers and I'm going this way. But with the Hermit here, I'm feeling a lot of gratitude, which is weird because I don't always see the Hermit as gratitude. The World reversed. Yeah, the world turning upside down. Things are not panning out the way that you expected them to, but they are panning out in the right time frame for you to understand why they're not panning out the way they're meant to. Or maybe it's just you switching gears, deciding that you want something else. Back of the deck, we have the Emperor. Yeah, taking back control over your life is for sure in the, ooh, I almost said in the air, and then I got the Knight of Air, the Knight of Swords. So this is you having to communicate to people like, hey, this isn't happening anymore because I've decided to do this instead. That's coming through. And I am getting a little bit of bittersweet energy here, but it's also liberating because a lot of you, you've wanted this. Maybe you don't like having to say that you have to reject something, but it feels good to do so because it means that you have more opportunities or that you have more freedom or that you're finally being true to yourself. I'm getting that a lot. I see this a lot, like I'm getting, so there are examples coming through, like people who have been in a relationship for years and years, and people were like, oh, when are you going to get married? When are you going to have kids? You know, like things like that. And you're here like, well, actually, this relationship isn't working out and we're both better off not wanting anything. And that's a hard conversation to have with certain people sometimes, you know? I remember when I broke off my first long-term serious commitment, it literally I felt so much shame. It felt like a divorce. Like I was afraid of telling everybody like, hey, it's not working out. Hey, we broke up. Like I literally felt that for every person who knew us. And it lasted like years, honestly. Like I was just like, I was ashamed of having to say it. It felt like a failure. And I don't know if some of you have gone through divorces or breakups that feel similarly, but that's kind of what I'm getting. But at the same time, it's like once I got over that particular emotion, once I got that out of my system, I was like, you know what? I didn't lose any time because the time I had with that person, we learned so much. You know, we learned how to do this. We accomplished these things. We both benefited from it. So I can't, and it didn't end, you know, badly. Or even if it did end badly for some of you, it's like you still learned so much from that experience. You experienced a lot of things. So it's never time wasted. It's all a matter of how you view it. And that's the biggest shift and change and surprise for towards the end of the year here for you, pile 3. I really like this pile. I don't know why. Because I love the feeling when people accept things that they know are great for them, even if those things don't seem positive on the onset. Because it's that mentality that will carry you through into your healing. Because I'm not saying that this is going to be easy. I'm just saying it's one step in the right direction, and that feels liberating. Because the universe responds to, how do I say this? We all have a higher purpose, right? We all have like choices in life that the universe kind of has out for us. And some are better than others. But when you choose something that's better for you, it's like everything shifts. Everything ends up being better for everybody. Again, the example of divorce, you may think it's going to negatively affect your children. It affects your children more negatively when you stay in a loveless relationship where you resent each other or argue with each other and hate each other. That tends to be worse than two parents who agree to amicably separate and remain good friends that are going to be there for their kids no matter what. You know? I feel like that's more positive. It's giving that kind of energy. That may be resonating with some of you. That's just an example. Let's go ahead and get your cards, pile 3. I know my nails are ratty. Please don't look at them too much. I'm trying to keep them out of the frame too. Because my sister, Michelle, for those of you who are on my live stream, she even pointed out, so like, your ratty nails are really distracting. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry, but I'm busy. But I also want to get my videos out because I don't feel right when I'm not doing tarot videos for my beautiful subscribers. Because believe it or not, sometimes when I post these videos, they're like, oh, I was waiting for something like this. I'm like, well, here I am. I'm fulfilling somebody's wishes, I'm sure. Okay, we have integrate your knowing. Integrate your knowing. A lot of you are becoming really, I was about to say intelligent these last 3 months, but what I really want to say is like you're learning a lot in I guess in a metaphysical level, but also you're just learning a lot these last 3 months. You're going to be learning a lot about yourself, about others, about how to move on. I mean, some of you could literally be in school right now and you're finishing off your degrees in these last 3 months, or maybe you're actually studying now and you're no longer, you know, putting things off to the last minute or partying. We have you are light. Yeah, some of you have been very dark for a long time. And I see that darkness finally shedding and you becoming more light, or you feel lighter in terms of energy. So because I read energy, or I feel energy, I guess I should say, I can always tell when things are up with people. I can always tell the lightness or the heaviness within them. And it's both a blessing and a curse. And for a lot of you, you're becoming more light, for sure. It's like you're leaving behind baggage. Stop, drop, and ground. Yeah, this is also a very grounding time for you. You don't have to focus on being grounded. I feel like the groundedness just comes to you. Or you are able to remain grounded more easily. We have observer. Maybe some of you are becoming really intuitive as well. Like, for example, I almost caught up in the gossip the other day with someone. And she was trying to tell me something. It's like, oh, did you know that this person... Actually, you know what? Let me not say anything. And then I was just sitting there with her. I was like, I know what you're about to say. And I think I agree. Because you don't have to say anything, but I've seen it and you confirming it. You know, it's kind of like that. Like, you don't have to be caught up in actual conversation or in the gossip or in the tea. You don't even have to read anything other than the energy around you, because by observing, you learn. By observing, you learn. So this has to be my really, really intuitive pile. If not, you will probably become much more intuitive within the last 3 months. And I've mentioned this before, but in astrology, Neptune and Jupiter to an extent are the planets that make you very intuitive. So if you have Neptune in Scorpio, Libra, Sagittarius, Aquarius, sorry, and Capricorn. How did I miss Capricorn? That's mine. You could become really intuitive within the last few months of the year. I know I do. That's another reason why I like to do my readings towards the end of the year. Because mine is in Capricorn. I'm the Neptune and Capricorn generation. And it changes every, is it 2 years or 1 to 2 years? 2.5 years? I don't know. Look it up. Look at your Neptune. That's your intuition. Okay, pile 3. We have blockage. We have chaos. Interesting. This is finding peace in the chaos. This is, even though all this garbage is going on around you, you don't really care. Or if you like, or maybe you do care, but it's like you're not letting it phase you. You don't really let it bother you. Because I'm seeing somebody who's walking really slow and like they're standing strong and they're just like, there's all this chaos around them and they're just like, whatever. That's what I'm seeing. That's you, pile 3. You have the unknown. Ooh, that's weird. I have a little congestion in my ear. Was a little, you know how ears get whenever you're congested, and it just opened up. Letting me know that you're unblocking something for sure. You just didn't know how, but now you're being shown now you are being shown the way. So you're definitely unblocking something. And child. For those of you, like I said, if children are of importance here, that could be just confirmation. But this is also a childhood wound. A lot of you are one, acknowledging that you have. I know that happens to me quite often. Like I'll be around somebody that reminds me of somebody from my childhood. And I'll be like, wow, I'm used to that energy, but I don't want to be used to that energy anymore. Wow, I used to experience that a lot as a child, but no, ma'am, I am 35 now. I am not a child. I will not put up with that. I'm getting a little bit of that. And abundance, yeah. But also going back to the child, because we were talking about timing. I think some of you are understanding that how do I explain this? Our inner child is always observing things around us. So even though, yes, our most formative years were when we were children, I think even as adults, especially when we're around people like our parents or the people we knew as children, can still affect us. For example, there's that, okay, so I can only speak from what I've seen because my parents have never divorced. They're still going 35 years strong, good God. But I know they say that it doesn't matter what age you are, it still affects you when your parents divorce, like in the same way, whether you had been 6 years old or even like in your 20s, 30s, etc., whenever they decide to split up. And I don't know how, maybe that resonates with some of you. Like I said, I can only speak from what I see because I've never experienced that. But it's very, it's kind of like, would it have made a difference if you were a child, or would it have made a difference if it was now? Is it still affecting you the same way? Because some of you are getting things when you least expected. Maybe you expected this to happen when you were younger, but now it's happening now instead. And thank goodness, because you've come very far, Pile 3. I can tell just reading off of this energy. You've come very far, that you know how to deal with a lot of BS. And thank goodness, because that's made you stronger. So this is what awaits you. I mean, I'm not saying that, you know, all this is going to happen within the last 3 months, but you're definitely going to be acknowledging how far you've come and how you don't really have to abide by a lot of really silly societal rules about timing or, you know, things like that. But this is where I leave it, Pile 3. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe. I'm sending you so much love. Take care. Hello there, Pile 4. If you chose the Weird Cat Tarot, then we have a reading here for you about what awaits you towards the end of the year, what surprises, what big surprises are going to come for you towards the end of the year. This is meant to be timeless, so you could watch this in any year, but this kind of came from the idea that they say during the last few months of the year is when people make the most progress. So you could watch this, I think, as early as September, depending on what you consider towards the end of the year here. So we're going to start with some tarot to see what is coming through, what surprises, what new developments, what is going to happen or may happen. And then we're going to go into the oracle. So let's start with your cards for my pile. For my pile 1. Sorry, pile 4. Maybe some of you came from pile 1, because that pile also had a very colorful tarot deck. And of course, if you feel called to more than one pile, you can do so. You can go there. So, pile 4. Okay, we have the Fool, the Hermit, the 3 of Pentacles. Interesting. You're going to be socializing more, or you're going to be making more connections. This could be like meeting people who are on your level, or who work in the same field that you do, or who have the same interests. Because the 3 of Pentacles, sometimes I see this as co-workers, but it could also be people in your field, whatever field may mean to you. So for example, people you have hobbies in common with, people who work the same job you do, even if it's not the same workplace, or even friends of friends. It's like that distant connection, but it's a connection regardless. So I feel like a lot of you, you're becoming more social, especially those of you who have a hard time meeting people. You're going to meet people, because the Fool reversed kind of feels like it's out of your control, and the Hermit reversed, it's like we're getting out of hermit mode, we're getting out of introvert mode and meeting people, for better or worse. Mostly for better here. So for those of you who tend to socialize more this time of year, it would be like meeting somebody at the family gathering when you typically don't really go anywhere besides the family gathering. So networking for sure. We have the King of Swords. Interesting. And 4 of Cups reversed. I do get that a lot of you are not really used to being in the spotlight. So you may be put in the spotlight and you're kind of learning how to deal with that. And I feel like you're learning that you actually don't mind it. You actually don't mind the attention or the, I just heard the views. Maybe some of you don't mind the new viewership or the amount of attention something you're doing is gaining. It's like you're becoming comfortable being something that you're typically not. But I also see this as kind of like a personal development, maybe social development in general. You're coming out of your shell and it feels great. Or you're at least seeing the advantages of coming out of your shell. Like, I'm not saying that you're going to go full-blown extrovert here, pile 4, but let's say you learn how to cope with being in the spotlight and learn how to socialize with many people, not just one, or even like your social battery gets charged all the way. It's kind of like, you know how some people have a certain threshold of how many social interactions they can have? It's kind of like that's going up for you because you're kind of learning how to deal with several kinds of people. So you're meeting a lot of people and you're learning that it's not even that bothersome. Especially for those of you who really hate people, which, look, I understand. I'm the same way. But you're learning how to find comfort in that or how to get comfortable with it. And I feel like this is out of your control. Like, again, I feel like you may be pushed into some sort of party or meeting or gathering, but it happens to be people that you really like or that you understand or that makes sense to be around. So it doesn't feel draining like it usually would be. You have the Ace of Pentacles. But some of you could have a hard time, well, maybe not a hard time, but maybe some of you don't know how to I'm hearing you have a hard time committing or don't know how to commit to something. So you may make plans here and there that maybe don't go through, or maybe like there's something about getting started, like having things get started here. So you may get those numbers, but you may not actually see them or talk to them for like days, weeks, months after the fact. And this could be multiple people or one person, but for a lot of you, I do get that it's multiple people. And if you wanted to see this in terms of romance, that could also apply if you wanted to meet new people. For my singles out there. We have the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah. If you don't want to like commit yourself to something, I feel like this is a good thing. However, if you do, it's going to take some time before it actually progresses, especially if you meet them or communicate with them around Mercury retrograde, which I think begins the 9th of November. Well, in this current year that I'm posting this. But if there's a Mercury retrograde coming up, that might be the case. That might be what's interrupting the flow here. You have the 9 of Cups. Yeah. There we go. 8 of Pentacles. But I do feel like you will eventually get what you want or need out of this or these situations. Because it's kind of like, you know something's good. You know something's solid. There's also something here about patience. So maybe the universe is kind of teaching you both patience and how to socialize at the same time. And again, out of your control. I feel like either they come to you or things happen for you more so than you go out of your way to do them. Because I'm picking up on like, I mean, I don't want to call it lazy energy, but it's more like you can't be bothered, or maybe you're not really motivated. That's what it's coming through as. So the universe is kind of doing this for you. And the Magician reversed. There was another pile where the Magician was reversed. If you're coming from that pile, this could be double confirmation. This is you manifesting without meaning to. This is you manifesting without thinking that you were even manifesting. This is like, does that make sense? It's like you didn't realize that you were manifesting, but your subconscious is bringing this to the forefront. Back of the deck, we have the Chariot. Yeah, progression, moving forward. So things are happening for you. You're meeting people or even opportunities. If it's not about people, it could be opportunities making themselves very abundant and clear for you. And you're kind of okay with that. It's like things are happening for you. And even though in the past you may have been like, I don't know if I want it. I don't think I'm ready. Here, it's like it's about time we kind of push you in this direction. You know, I feel like the universe really wants to push you in a particular direction or wants to do something for you. So this is definitely low effort energy here. You don't have to worry about doing a lot. Or even if you do, it's just like either simple replies or just, you know, nothing that would be exerting too much of your energy, time, or effort, if that makes any sense. So I like this energy for you. I really do. So let's go ahead and move on to the oracles to see what else is coming through or to further elaborate on this. So pile 4. We have Protector. Interesting. You have somebody looking out for you. Oh, and I never noticed it. She has a rune on her forehead. I forget what it's called. I want to say Algis, but it's the rune of like, I mean, it can be a rune of protection, of course, but what is it the rune of? You'd think I'd know, but it's been a while since I did some runes. But it makes me think of a fork in the road. It makes me think of no matter what you choose, no matter where you go, you will be protected. And divine intervention will always be there for you, for better or worse, whether you like it or not. It's one of those things where you're like, ugh, why divine intervention? But looking back at it, you're like, I'm kind of glad that the divine intervened. So let's get more cards for you. This also says number 20, so the 20th could be of importance of any month. Or some of you could be 20. We have Soul on Fire. You're reigniting some sort of passion or something within your soul. Again, meeting like-minded people or meeting people that resonate with you is a big thing here. Or them seeking you out, or just by happenstance you come upon each other. We have Create Alchemy. Lots of black and white here. And this deck isn't particularly, like, it's got more color than this, which is really interesting. There could be something here about keeping things black and white, which I don't always agree with, but here it's like, it's either this or that, and there's no in between, because something has to be clear cut in order for you to progress, which which is fair. I think that's really fair in this case. Feed your artist. Yeah, I was getting this again, where like you're becoming much more, maybe you're being inspired by the people or things around you, or even by the opportunities. Like for example, let's say you have an opportunity to do XYZ and you've never really done XYZ, but you could see yourself doing it. So you start being inspired by that and take on either lessons or projects that have to do with that same topic or theme. I'm getting a little bit of that. You get inspired by the opportunities around you. It's almost like you hear the calling and you answer it. And let's get your last cards for my pile. For my pile 4. Oh my gosh, why? Okay, for those of you who are leaning a little bit more romantic here, I just heard the song by Kings of Leon. It's a throwback. Your S is on fire. With Soul on Fire, that's what I was hearing. So for some of you, you might be getting lots of opportunities for that if that's what you want. Take that only if it resonates. We have work reversed. Interesting. So for those of you who are really being forced to focus on work, or even if you're working more, it's not going to feel like work because you're having fun. And like I said, you're being inspired by the thing that you do. So even if it's a desk job, maybe there's a different opportunity there and that's inspiring you, and therefore it doesn't feel like work. So I kind of like that this is coming out reversed. Also, you could be working less just by chance. Maybe you're working a lot less than you need to. But it doesn't feel like work, even if you are working. Because I know there's certain jobs out there or certain positions in certain fields that don't really feel like work. It just feels like you're sitting at a desk answering emails. To me, that's, I'm sorry, and no hate, no shade. I'm not trying to be shady here about this, but to me, answering emails doesn't feel like work. It just feels like, oh, cool, I'm talking to somebody. And I say that as somebody who has to answer emails quite regularly. We have home. Some of you could be changing homes, or the home could be a place where you gather, but it doesn't feel like home anymore. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing though. Take that as it resonates. The home doesn't feel like home anymore. For some of you, that could be a good thing. Maybe it means that you're finally moving out of that space. And for some of you, it could be like, okay, it's time to go. Or maybe your home finally feels like home. You have balance. Oh, work-home balance. Maybe some of you are getting that. Okay, that's awesome. Because it's literally right here. Work-home balance. For those of you who have been trying to manifest that. And desire. Interesting. Like I said, okay, take this only if it resonates. Because in this sacral chakra, it's the creative chakra, yes, with this artist here. But it's also where we create life. So therefore, it's the sexy time kind of chakra. So for some of you, you could be getting opportunities to find people to do that with, if that's what you want, and if you're okay with that, take that as it resonates. I don't know why it's coming through, but sometimes the universe just wants to assure you that that's what you're getting, so be prepared, you know. But also you could be gaining or obtaining things that you have desired for a long time. So definitely manifesting, but again, you're manifesting without realizing, so you're not even putting effort, it's just kind of showing up for you. And I love that for you, pile 4. But that is where I leave it. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care.